Yeah, without any further ado, we've got Coach Adrian Jones. Coach, how you doing today? Let me move my
I'm
camera
doing
around.
great, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
No doubt about it, Coach. We appreciate you for coming on. Yeah. Kris, well, I'll let you start. But again, Coach, coming off of, again, a really frantic, action-packed game down there in Albany, Georgia, where you took your team down to face a team that played for a championship last year. Just kind of talk to us, just kind of let everybody know kind of how the game went from your perspective as you guys came and pulled out the win. And a lot of people, including us, didn't really see it coming.
Well, preparation for one. It's an 8 to 9 hour drive. We got up at 1 o'clock and got on the road Friday morning to travel down there. My motto was to get those guys there early enough to get them off their feet, get in the hotel, and kind of get focused on the game. But we all know that Albany State is known for powerhouse football. They in the SIAC, they pretty much have run it. Back even when Coach White saw Coach White at the game, got to shake his hand. He's a legend and everything. But we get out there and we start the game. Warming up and stuff. What we normally do. We minding our business, not worrying about anything. And we got a co-defensive coordinator and a DB coach going at our kids, telling them, we're doing our 7-on-7 reps, throwing the ball around. Like, ain't no need of y'all throwing the ball. You may as well work on handing the ball off. And that sparked my OC. My OC was standing right there. It sparked my OC off. It sparked my quarterback. It sparked my receivers. You got grown men talking to my players. I don't mind coaches going back and forth, but I can guarantee you that when they played Valdosta State, they didn't do that to Valdosta State. So, once again, they didn't think we were a good football team. But don't let the record 3-7, fool you. We were in the game against Fayetteville State last year. We beat John C. Smith, who had a great season last year. We lost our trigger man at the first game of the season. So a lot of stuff, that behind closed doors they didn't know about. But I guarantee they'll respect us a little bit more from now on. Win, lose, or draw, we talk about, showing character as head coaches and leading our young men and showing them how, young men supposed to be. And, the slap in the face is not shaking my hand after the game, regardless win or lose. I can recall when we played Bowie State and back in coach's days when Coach Ware was the offensive coordinator, and we went to Bowie State and they're quiet. And, I was thinking that those guys weren't ready. I thought we had a chance. And our players get in a group and they say F Bowie right before we get ready to play. And I was like, what in the world? And at the end of the day, they hung 78 points on us that game. But at the end of the day, no matter how many points got scored on us, I shook the head coach's hand. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Respect, it ain't fun when a rabbit got the gun. And, I know y'all called me on here to speak my piece. 2025, they got to come to Durham, North Carolina. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to shake his hand. But he needs to understand that if you're going to talk that talk, you got to walk that walk.
Yeah, well, hey, you laid it all out there for us, Coach. It's interesting, and I'll let Kris get there in a second. But I know, you talk about being in this profession, and most of you guys have come up in the ranks as players, and you talk about that respect and discipline, and like you say, you're trying to mold young men. I know Cano Maynor over at Alabama A&M, he was kind of talking about how for even him, just a couple weeks ago, going to talk to I think Hugh Freeze over at Auburn. I'm sorry, is that Auburn? He is at Auburn. Okay, PWI football, I can get a little cloudy sometimes. So, and he was talking about how they had just a nice pregame chat before the game, and that meant something to him. And he said that didn't happen a lot of the times when he was in the SWAC. As a guy who's been around this game your entire life and been doing this, what's the camaraderie like in the CIAA, and just how much does that decorum mean to just kind of really instilling this stuff into young men?
It means a lot, in CIAA. It's not one coach that we meet at the 50-yard line at some point in time and talk about our, everybody got problems on campus, everybody got problems with buses, those type of things we share, and then right before we break up, good luck, coach. Those type of things. We're very close, tight-knit a family in the CIAA, and you gotta have more of that. It's just a respect factor. I've been in this business for a long time. Been a head coach here 8 years. He's a rookie coach. To me, he's a rookie coach. You got to respect the OGs of the conference. Win, lose, or draw, or whatever my record is. At the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. I know how to coach football. And we got all our bullets on the field. And you see a difference now with all our trigger man. Being the guy who he is. Our offensive line is intact. All across the board. I felt like the game shouldn't have been close. We made it closer than what it was, but I'm glad to see my guys in a pressure situation. We're down by 10 with less than a minute and 45 seconds left on the game or whatever time it was, and we pulled a victory off. At no point, y'all didn't see it on TV, but at no point in that game we thought that we was going to lose, and that's the mentality that you got to have to be a champion. Have we arrived yet? Absolutely not. We still got a lot of meat on that bone. We still got a lot of work, and I don't want my guys to get the big head because we're getting accolades and we're getting recognized. That doesn't mean nothing to us. There's one goal at hand, and that's to try to win a championship.
Yeah, Kris?
Yeah, Coach. I mean, let's talk about that game a little bit because, when you got into the fourth quarter, you were already down by 10, and you had already had the lead. So what was kind of the guys' mentality going into that fourth quarter when you ended up racking up 27 points?
Well, we were just saying we just continue to chop wood and carry water. No, continue to play the football game, no matter outcome. Like, let's show character. Let's not, when the chips are down and they're up, let's not complain to the referees about calls. Let's just focus on Shaw football, and the outcome of the game, it was our favorite. They followed my lead. And a lot of times, a lot of losses last year, they started pointing the finger and not following my lead. But I can say, like I said, I've been in this business a long time. From last year to now, myself, I have matured a lot more. I've got to know my players a little bit more. What makes them comfortable, doing those type of things, getting to know them a little bit more, being a stickler about making my coaches be on time for everything. My staff, we're friends but I have to get them to understand that when I'm in head coach mode, I'm not your friend. So some things that we change, and that's why you see the difference in our program this year is, me checking myself at the door, trying to find out better ways to win football games. Because I never want to hear y'all guys going against me and saying, Shaw's not going to win the game. I listen to you guys, and I give credit to you guys for doing those things. But it motivates me. And at the end of the day, I got to do what I got to do to get y'all to be on my side.
Well, Coach, I kind of want to ask another question. So I've been covering the CIAA for about as long as you've been coaching at Shaw now. And I can't believe it. It's been that long. And I'm not really a football guy. I'm just a fan that really enjoys, follows conference, does a lot of studying and everything. But I equate a head coach as in leadership. And that's something I do, in the real world. And I want to know, what is your biggest leadership quality?
My biggest leadership quality is I lead by example. I go to the weight room and work out with my football players each and every day. I go in there and work out with them in the off season, and it's grueling. Our strength and condition coach is no joke, and I do each and everything with them. It be times like, I ain't doing that. That's too much. I don't play football no more. No, coach, you're a family. You got to do it. So when they see me do those things, and I get on them and tell them they're wrong about stuff, they can't check me, because I've been in the war room with them, and I just think that's. I'm old, but I just showed them at the end of the day that, no matter what, I don't play football no more. I'm in with the family.
Yeah. Again, guys, we are have the pleasure of having Shaw University head coach Adrian Jones on. He is in his 8th year at Shaw University in Raleigh as they continue to get ready to go into CIAA play yet, or you got another week of non-conference?
We got Catawba this week.
Catawba, right down the road in Salisbury. But yeah, you're just talking about your program and the length of time that you've been in the CIAA. How has the league? Have you seen the league change and evolve in that time? Any trends, or just I guess you also got to talk about the transfer portal. I know you guys had a guy who was who you guys kind of found as a diamond in the rough. And next thing you know, FBS teams are looking at him, kind of what that's done. I think we hear about it on the D1 level, but either at the D2 level, how the changes have impacted your program.
You know, we talk about the transfer portal. We're the new modern day JUCO. You know, you got a guy to make all conference. You best believe the FCS schools are going to come in and try to lure them in. But I can tell you what, just with us being 5-0 in against the SIAC, from when I got here to now, you know, anybody can win this championship. I really do believe that. You know, Fayetteville State is still good. We're pretty good. John C. Smith is on the roll. You got the Virginia Unions, the Virginia States. Bowie played a tough game last week. So it's anybody's game. So, you know, we just got to continue to win. But I just appreciate, you know, how I want to say it. I appreciate our coaches in this conference. They're doing a great job of molding young men. You know, we're very competitive. So, you know, Coach Hayes is one guy that he'll hit me up. He said, I'm watching you. I'm like, what you talking about? Man, you all the way in California recruiting. Absolutely. I got to go to California because I can't beat you in North Carolina. You know, it's cheaper to go to Fayetteville State. So I got to be a little bit creative. But we're all friends and we all, you know, stick together. Like Coach Hayes came to my house right before the summer end, and we had drinks and food at my house with some of the other coaches. Coach Hilliard was there, Coach Oliver, a couple other coaches. So, you know, we're a family, but, you know, when we get out there in that football field, we want to beat each other.
Yeah, and it just kind of triggered me too, thinking about talking about recruiting in California. You know, I know in the recent years, you know, and it kind of ebbs and flows. In recent years, they've said how the South, and of course, there are no more divisions right now, but how they said that the South has, you know, been the weaker of the conference, of the divisions and things like that. But just, you know, paint the picture of how difficult it is to recruit, or how the recruiting is in North Carolina when you have all of these schools. I mean, you know, from the FBS to the FCS to, you know, you got 5 HBCUs that play football in North Carolina, 5-6 in North Carolina. How it is for you guys to try to get recruiting, and how creative you guys have to get as a private school as well.
Yep, and you said it. You know, it was difficult for us because we're a private school, you know, and John C. Smith is a private school, but we get creative. It's not really difficult for those private schools because you got John C. Smith, who's in the middle of Charlotte, who don't want to go to Charlotte, who doesn't want to come downtown Raleigh, where, you know, it's the capital, you know, it's NC State. You talking about Queens College, us, St. all North Carolina Central right down the street. And it's a college town. Most of the college students come to downtown Raleigh. So when we got our guys on recruiting visits, that's our selling point. We let those guys go downtown and hang out with our football players, and they see the bond. So that's where we win at, you know, just that. And we show that we really care. At the end of the day, it ain't no secret. We don't have a lot of bells and whistles. We keep it real with them guys. You know, if you want to come play football and get coached up by a good coaching staff, you know, this is where you want to be at. All our guys graduate, get degrees, and hell, you got 10 of our guys on our team this year that's in grad school.
Kris?
Yeah, I just was kind of curious in your tenure, what's been your favorite moment, you know, as a head football coach?
My favorite moment. There's a lot of moments. I'll tell you, I'm gonna write a book because I got some special kids, man. There's some special stories. But my favorite moment, I can say, that just really pops out. We went to Morris Hills, and Morris Hills was pretty good that year, and we won and beat that team. You know, if you know anything about Morris Hills, that coach been there for a long time. That was one of my favorite moments. You know, God rest his soul, Dr. Carter. As soon as that game was over with, he came and hugged me and said, "Coach, I was proud of you." So that's one of my favorite moments, is beating Morris Hills, who was a predominantly powerhouse back then.
Yeah, as we continue to talk with Coach Jones, for those of you who don't know, before he was the coach, he was a star defensive back and return man over at North Carolina Central back when they were in the CIAA. I know you played with several men who have gone on to become head coaches, Coach Trey Oliver, Coach Dawson Odoms as well. You know, just talk about, you know, just talk about you know, that connection that you guys have, you know, being Central grads, and then, you know, also there's a lot of overlap between the MEAC and the CIAA in terms of, you know, three of those guys that are in the MEAC, they played in the CIAA, and we also often hear them talking about, you know, what MEAC football is, but kind of how much closely the two kind of seem to be kind of tied together.
It's been a great experience. You know, if you let Coach Little tell you that he's proud of us, but at one point in time, he didn't know what in the world we were going to be. You know, we were those teenagers that was, you know, partying and having a good time and always into something. But, you know, we listened to Coach Little. He was a father figure to us. But, you know, Coach, I call him Tyrone. I don't know him as Dawson. I think he changed his name. But Tyrone, you know, we talk. We talk on the phone on the regular. Coach Oliver, we talk every day. If I ain't at his house, he's at my house, you know, talking over football and strategies and stuff. And also Coach Gibbs, Sean Gibbs, we talk every other day, or if we don't talk, it's a text. So it's a family. We say that we the HBCU for head coaches. You know, I really feel like that, you know, I'm proud of all those guys, you know. And each and every week I'm voting for them and rooting for them. But, you know, it's tough being a head coach, you know, the critics, you know, each and every week, you know, I'm still feeling kind of daggone bad from the Albany State game, the travel, the emotions and everything. So I can only imagine how my kids feel. I didn't play in the game, but you would think I hit a couple people Saturday.
Gotcha. Kris, any
No, you know, I talked to Coach Jones yesterday in his coach's show, and you know, I asked a question about you know, the ending of the game and just how it was just so chaotic. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Coach, tell the folks out there, you know, kind of like your thoughts about, you know, sort of how the game ended. You know, the way Christian Peters made that throw to Belcher to take the lead so late in the game.
Well, I can tell you what, those guys actually at practice talk about these moments. If this happens, I'm gonna do this. You know, I didn't want him to scramble like he did. I didn't feel like he had to do that, but he gave you an answer. He said, I felt like I need to scramble a little bit longer to run the clock out. It sounds good, but I don't know if that was true. But he looked downfield. We work on the scramble drill, and I'm telling you, every day, Ashawn Belcher makes a catch like he did on Saturday, every single day. And we as coaches looking like, what in the world? He's just a prepared young man. And, you know, I told you, Kris, God was on our side. You know, it could have went either way, but, you know, we have prepared. And I felt like, you know, the bumps and bruises that we have taken the last 2 years, you know, we've grown through that. You know, it's been some sleepless nights, you know, and nobody wants to lose. But, you know, for whatever reason, it was meant. I always tell my guys, what happens is meant for us. We've learned from it. But what we can't do now is get the big head. You know, I talked to Coach Oliver, you know, what do you need to do? You know, we're 2-0. But what are we speaking on? You know, just winning the day each and every day, being prepared. We're here to play a good team in Catawba, who has a great football coach, and that conference is good. But in order for us to get more respect, we got to continue to beat teams that are on our schedule.
Yeah, what do you think about that too? When it comes to, obviously, you know, the CIAA has dominated the SIC this year, and then, you know, but even so, you look at a team like Elizabeth City, who you guys beat, you know, to start the year, they beat Shawan, who used to be a part of the CIAA, but you got Bluefield State even, you know, going out and beating not Charleston, Concord.
Yep.
You know, and then what you guys did, you know, again, there's been this conversation, is the CIAA a football league now? You know, what are your thoughts on just the state of where you guys are and what can push the conference even higher?
I think you know, I wasn't a fan of them not having a North and South, but I think it has made us better coaches. You know, at the end of the day, you can't lose any games. You know, you got to win. And I think one of you guys quoted on, it might be funny that it'd be real funny that it'd be two Southern teams are playing in the championship. it could go either way. It could be two Northern teams, quote unquote. But we just want to continue to win. It could be an undefeated team, or it could be two teams that lost one game. But we don't want to lose a game. We don't want to lose a game. We want to continue to win each and every week, and we want to be the front runners and people chasing us. But in order to do that, we got to continue to get prepared and do our best as coaching staff to get our guys ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Coach, we definitely appreciate you for coming on. Shout out to your sports information director, Antoine Lynch. He does a great job over there at Shaw for connecting us and getting you on. We want to talk to you anyway. And then I obviously, just with everything that happened, it seemed like a good time. So we appreciate you for coming on. Anything you want to leave the people with as you get prepared to play against Catawba?
I know North Carolina Central is playing UNC, but please, if you're in our area, come give us a shout out. We play at 6:00 on Saturday at Durham County Stadium. We won't let you down. I appreciate your guys letting me come on.
No doubt about it. Anytime, Coach, for sure. On behalf of Kris as well.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. Yep.